Hello, I'm Gary Tuma, Walker's Point Center for the Arts. I've been the director here for 6.5 years. You are in our main gallery, and we are located at 839 South 5th Street in the heart of the Walker's Point neighborhood. We've been in existence for 25 years and are one of the few neighborhood art centers in the United States. As a neighborhood art center in a very challenged neighborhood, Walker's Point, of course, is one of the more economically challenged neighborhoods in the city. And it's in the last 25 years that we've been here, I think we've contributed a lot, including to the economic development. I can only speak for the last 6.5 years, but we have actually increased our employment, our workforce by, well, we've doubled it in the past 4 years. And that's, I think, a testament to the support we get from this community and the active involvement of our volunteer board members. We're maybe unique in that way that some of our board members have to represent the neighborhood. And that's, I think, a very important component in operating a neighborhood art center, is having local people who can input your programming and really implement the mission, which is to be a multicultural venue for the city. I think another way that we reach out to the community is that we really view ourselves as a resource to this neighborhood, and sometimes that involves things other than art. We have hosted neighborhood meetings. Our local alderman has had a number of his general neighborhood sessions here at Walker's Point Center for the Arts. We do have close connections to other arts organizations and other organizations in the neighborhood. 5th Street, which is the street that's in front of the gallery, is now the home of 5 arts organizations: Bucket Works, the Milwaukee Ballet, and the ballet, of course, came down into this neighborhood about the same time we did 25 years ago. There's Arts at Large. I know Arts at Large is a new neighbor, and Art Works for Milwaukee. And there's also a new theater called Carte Blanche Theater, is actually down the street from us. So this is really, I think, part of the resurgence and regeneration of the Walker's Point neighborhood, is that many years ago, artists came down into this neighborhood to rent studio space because it was very affordable. People like Francis Ford, Jill Sebastian, and some of them over the years have exhibited at Walker's Point Center for the Arts. Some of our very first exhibits were made up of local artists from this neighborhood. And so I think visual artists in particular have been in the vanguard in regenerating this neighborhood, and we at Walker's Point Center for the Arts really feel that we've been a really good partner in moving the neighborhood to another level. Our exhibition season is put together by an exhibition committee, and Michael Flanagan is the chair of that committee. We do receive proposals from across the country, and Mary Overman is the point person on gathering all of those proposals that are submitted and reducing them down to a document that the exhibition committee can review and select our exhibits from those sources.
I guess I'd say when I first started being involved in the center, the exhibits that were here were more community-oriented. They were mostly artists from Milwaukee, a lot of bigger group shows, some thematic kinds of exhibits. And then we started trying to maybe focus a little bit more on getting some artwork from outside of our immediate surroundings here. So we started looking towards artwork from Chicago, Minneapolis, a little farther flung sort of things. We did some collaborative exhibits where artwork would be exhibited in one place and then travel here and then maybe on to another place. I'd say we're pretty open to more experimental kinds of things. There are exhibits where there's really not a way that you could acquire or buy or collect the things that are on display here, and I've found that to be kind of a nice function of the center. People know that they can do some more experimental kinds of work here. But since Mary started working down here, the process has been much more streamlined, at least for me. She's done a lot of work to put out calls for entries from artists around the country, and then literally streamline that, package it, and then it makes it a little bit easier to look at.
We do have an online submission process, or submission guidelines, online, that are available for artists to download, and that really focuses on the business aspects of art. We like to direct our members there because we require things like an artist statement, an image list, a CV. They're all really basic, but a lot of artists aren't. Or some artists, I would say, a lot of students aren't really familiar with that process, and so we certainly try to emphasize that here. So it's really important in obtaining an art degree and working within the arts. One of the interesting things about that is that sometimes artists really don't follow directions. Really? That's a huge problem. I think when you're applying to a show, you have to take it step by step, and when we get in proposals that haven't followed what we've asked for, we don't look at them. It's just, it shows that the artist doesn't have attention to detail, and that's really important when we're working closely with them for an exhibition.
Another way that we immerse ourselves in the art world is that our board members and our staff are going out to gallery openings. As we travel around the country, we keep our eye out for art that maybe that this might be an appropriate venue for. And so our exhibition committee does come forward with suggestions for us as to who might be a curator, who we should put together for an exhibition.
Any artists that are in the community, they should be going out to exhibitions and receptions, and they should be active in the art community, because you're not going to get shows if you don't know anyone in the art community. And so it's a really important thing to do. And I think we've seen an increase in people attending receptions at WPCA, and that's been really beneficial for both us and the artists.
And so just when it seems like we're getting a little snooty and winnowing out too many people, we have a wide open membership show. Anybody who is a up-to-date paid member of the Walker's Point Center for the Arts is eligible to participate in one show a year, and we have a big exhibit that is salon style, and we get a little bit of everything. We get some, high-end faculty members from the different arts organizations in town here, different universities in town here, to not kids from the neighborhood, but younger people from the neighborhood. And I can think of, some people that were maybe in their late teens who have participated in that show over the year. And so that's a lot of fun. And if somebody approaches me about taking a look or getting a chance to get in a show here, one of the first things I'll say to them is join the center, get in the membership show, get a bunch of people to take a look at your work. Let's see how that turns out. And that has gotten some people a second look. We've gotten some favorable responses to some people that way.
Yeah, that brings a lot of opportunities to artists, just to get your work out there. And the member show is non-juried, so it's typically floor-to-ceiling display. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of juxtapositions in the work, because there's so many different mediums and aesthetics that are going into the show. And there's also a lot of kinships with the work, which is, it's really neat to see how it all plays together in that particular exhibition.
I've really learned a lot just from being on the board here. It's been a real eye-opener for me.
And we'd like to welcome anyone else to stop by. We're always open for a conversation about arts or education in the community. We're always open for suggestions.